to the DMs a video called Most Unbelievable Plane Turbulence Caught on Camera. I'm down because not only am I scared to fly, but plane turbulence scares the hell out of me.
From a beverage cart over the French Alps that was in for a rocky ride, and an emergency landing in China that had chairs shaking out of control, to a terrifying flight in Germany that nearly claimed a celebrity couple, and an Airbus A380 that had to navigate a powerful crosswind. Here is some of the most unbelievable plane turbulence caught on camera. If turbulence freaks you out, avoid flying over the Andes Mountains in South America. Data compiled from 150,000 routes determined that the 1,100-mile journey from Santiago, Chile to Viru Viru, Bolivia is the most turbulent flight on Earth. The 3-hour trip is almost entirely over the Andes. Passengers on board this flight heading to Tierra del Fuego learned why the Andes are bad for turbulence. Watch how mechanical turbulence off the mountains causes this plane to shake and rattle out of control.
For this. Damn it! Shit!
Now, this type of turbulence is specifically called mountain wave turbulence. They're eddies found downwind of mountain ranges like the Andes, Rockies, and Himalayas. They produce some of the most severe turbulence you can ever experience. It occurs when the wind rolls over the mountains, creating waves of air that rotate into the jet stream and impact your plane. Thankfully, pilots and ATC can recognize the signs of mountain wave turbulence and reroute the flight. They're also not as violent if the plane hits them head-on. Getting hit from the side is a different story, as seen in this video. When pilots believe they're about to enter a turbulent patch, they'll turn on the fasten seatbelt sign. This helps keep everybody safe while the plane shakes and pitches. Unfortunately, severe turbulence is hard to spot before it hits, which is why you should always keep your seatbelt on. These next two clips explain why. The first comes from April of 2011. Passengers were flying over the French Alps when their plane hit a spot of extreme mountain wave turbulence. Flight attendants had just begun beverage service and weren't prepared for what happened next. Luckily, these ladies were able to hold on to the beverage cart. The passengers in this next clip weren't so lucky.
Oh my God!
This 2019 flight was heading from Pristina, Serbia to Basel, Switzerland. The route also took their plane over the Alps. This video exemplifies why you should always wear your seatbelt. The sudden drop caused the beverage cart and flight attendant to hit the cabin ceiling. Drinks spilled everywhere, and a few passengers suffered minor burns from hot water. Now, they should have known better than to start beverage service while flying over the Alps. Mountain wave turbulence can be extremely rough and unpredictable. Why risk it for coffee and ginger ale? Thankfully, this occurred only 20 minutes before landing, just as the plane cleared the mountains. 10 people were treated at a local Swiss hospital for minor burns and injuries.
Damn. Claim 6 lives.
China Eastern is one of the country's 3 major airlines. Headquartered in Shanghai, it serves flights to over 220 destinations. Its 627 plane fleet consists mainly of Airbus A320s and Boeing 737s. On December 3rd of 2023, one of those Airbuses had to be taken into the shop. While flying from Shanghai to Hong Kong, one of the fan blades malfunctioned, causing the plane to shake violently. Passengers were so scared that they sat in stunned silence. Watch as the plane shakes like it's passing through extreme turbulence.
Is the engine on fire? Can we see it? Can we see it? Hey, look at the bright side. At least we still going. You know what I mean? That's real.
Everything had been going fine up until then. The flight departed on time, and flight attendants served breakfast around 10 o'clock. That's when our passengers heard a loud bang off the left wing. The cabin began shaking, and everyone could smell something burning. Thankfully, the plane landed safely in Xiamen, a coastal city between Hong Kong and Shanghai. The intense shaking lasted for 20 minutes, from the moment it began to when the plane touched the ground. Everyone got off safely while the plane was inspected. They all got on a new flight to Shanghai around 3:30 p.m. that day.
No harm, no foul. I am
On June 21st of 2022, Red Air Flight 2023 descended into Miami International Airport, having just flown from the Dominican Republic. If you've never heard of Red Air, that's because they're a new Dominican company formed in 2020. They only have 3 planes. One of those planes was heading in for repairs after this rough landing in Miami. Left main gear collapsed, causing the left wing to skid against the ground. Moments before stopping, the right and nose landing gears also collapsed, causing damage to the plane's front end and a fire on the right side. They also snapped a communication tower along the way, but that was the least of their worries. Thankfully, all 130 passengers and 10 crew members made it off the plane safely. As of today, we're not sure what caused the accident. It was either bad luck or faulty manufacturing. There seems to be a lot more of the latter going around these days. Frontier Airlines is an ultra-low-cost American airline operating out of Denver, Colorado. It's been around since the mid-1990s and has been helping people save money as airfare has only become more expensive. On October 25th of 2019, Frontier Flight 226 from Denver to Baltimore went through one of the most intense turbulence patches you'll ever see. One man recorded the entire ordeal as his fellow passengers prayed for safety.
Oh shit! Oh hell no! Are we going down, or are we final destination in it? Is that what's... Oh, hell no.
What is going on?
According to the National Weather Service, turbulence is among Mother Nature's most unpredictable phenomena. Turbulence can impact your flight in several ways, but the 4 main types are clear air, thermal, mechanical, and wake. It all concerns jet streams, the invisible air paths encircling the globe. They can make the plane pitch up or down and rock from side to side. Thankfully, ATC can predict turbulence from weather and mountain ranges, thus accounting for thermal and mechanical. As for wake turbulence, it only matters when landing behind another plane. Clear air turbulence causes everyone trouble. That's because you'll never see it coming until you're in it, which is likely what happened on this flight. As our pilot in this video states, they went through an unforecasted area of severe turbulence. Thankfully, everything was okay, and the plane landed safely in Baltimore.
Damn that. That's why I just hitchhike.
On March 1st of 2023, a powerful turbulence patch nearly took out Lufthansa Flight 469 from Austin, Texas to Frankfurt, Germany. Even the pilot, who had been flying for 27 years, had never seen anything like it. They were about 90 minutes into a 10-hour flight when the plane began shaking over Tennessee. The Airbus A330 was cruising at 37,000 feet when it suddenly plummeted 4,000 feet toward the ground. Everything inside the plane went flying, from pillows and bags to food trays, water bottles, and those without seat belts. Aftermath footage shows what the plane looked like as passengers sat in silent disbelief.
I think we were falling for a little bit. Estábamos todos comiendo. Llevamos, no sé, hora y media, pero probablemente no vuelve.
At least they alive. That's real. At least you're alive.
Wir haben aus Sicherheitsgründen lassen wir die Anschnallzeichen noch so lange eingeschaltet, bis wir die Gewitterzone verlassen haben.
According to reports, people were calling their loved ones as if it were the last time. Flight attendants treated those with minor injuries as the captain walked the cabin to check on his passengers. He tried to explain what happened as best as he could. He had been flying for 27 years and had never seen anything like that. He finally landed the plane in Virginia, where 7 people were taken to a local hospital with minor injuries. According to the National Weather Service, severe storms had moved over the Tennessee area as the plane passed. They were strong enough to force an emergency landing, which left some questioning why the plane flew through it. It later emerged that Matthew McConaughey and his wife Camilla were on the plane. He remembers people displaying a range of emotions, from being ghost silent to bursting out in laughter. Emirates Airlines is the largest airline in the Middle East. They serve 150 cities across 80 countries, with roughly 3,600 flights departing from their hub in Dubai every week. On October 5th of 2017, an Emirates Airbus A380 was landing in Dusseldorf, Germany, when the plane encountered a nasty crosswind. As you're about to see, wind doesn't just mess with planes in the air. It can still get you when you're about to touch the ground.
Oh my God, I can see that.
Luckily, the pilot maintained control and rolled safely into the gate, though we imagine the passengers on board weren't thrilled with the rough landing. What you just saw is called a crab landing. It looks like the plane is landing at an angle, only to straighten out at the last moment. Pilots use crab landings during strong crosswinds to align the plane's nose with the runway. In this instance, the wind was blowing from left to right across your screen. The pilot turns into it, effectively fighting the wind all the way to the tarmac.
Still don't touch it.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. It's true in life, and it's true in aborted plane landings. If the pilot doesn't think it's safe to land, it's better to pull up, go around, and try again. Forcing a rough landing is a surefire way to put everyone in danger. On May 29th of 2022, a Boeing 737 was attempting to land in central Sulawesi, Indonesia. But just as the pilot began their descent, a storm picked up, creating extreme turbulence. Instead of risking everyone's life, he did the smart thing and turned around.
I can feel the drops. I don't do aircrafts, Mike. Coming in hot.
Our camera woman began filming shortly after the plane went up again. She said everyone was screaming, crying, and praying as the cabin shook. They hung in the air for 30 minutes until the storm cleared and the pilot deemed it safe to land. Aborted landings, also known as go-arounds, are crucial safety tools. According to a study from the Flight Safety Foundation, more than half of all plane accidents could have been avoided had the pilot simply gone around. If at first you don't succeed, try and land the plane again. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, from a daredevil in Bulgaria that flew this Airbus within feet of a bridge, to a grand entrance via helicopter that gave everyone quite the shock, and a heart-pounding performance over Florida by some of the most skilled pilots in the world. Here are 10 mind-blowing aviation moments caught on camera.
10 reasons why I don't trust airplanes. 10 reasons why BlastphamousHD don't do heights.
Is a harbor town of about 120,000 people in South Africa. If you thought it looked beautiful on the ground, wait until you see it from 16,000 feet up. I took off in a Beechcraft C-90 King Air. Once they reached their jumping altitude of 16,000 feet, the daredevils opened the door and began lining up outside the plane. They were so focused on preparing to jump that none of them noticed the pilot having engine trouble. Suddenly, the plane tilted sideways, bucking them all off. Thankfully, the pilot regained control and landed safely. There were still 4 jumpers inside. You can even see one jumping out before the camera looks away. Belleville, Michigan is a small city about 30 miles west of Detroit. It's home to nearly 4,000 people who every year gather to watch death-defying pilots show off in their planes. The annual Thunder Over Michigan Air Show features modern jets capable of breaking the sound barrier and old-school planes from World Wars I and II. And while only the most skilled pilots around get to pilot these planes, it doesn't mean disaster can't strike. His backseater wanted to eject, but the pilot thought he could land it. According to an official report, the backseater pulled the ejection lever for both seats, likely saving their lives. The plane crashed about a mile from the airport. It went up in a massive ball of fire and black smoke, while leaving a 600-foot gash in the ground. Thankfully, it landed in an open area, narrowly missing an apartment building.
Bam!
In the United States, high school seniors look forward to prom. In South Africa, they look forward to the matric dance. It takes place during their matriculation year, or their 12th and final year of school. Most arrive in style, with some going above and beyond. It was matric season of 2014 at Wagpost High School. The festivities were held at Fatherland's Estate, a beautiful wedding and event venue in Brits, South Africa. One couple decided to show off by arriving in a private helicopter. Unfortunately, their grand entrance didn't go as planned. Luckily, the couple and the pilot were safe inside the helicopter. Everyone was clear of the power line, but the accident did cause a small brush fire near the venue. According to an expert, the pilot got in trouble after changing his landing course. Early on, you can see a man pointing the pilot to land somewhere else. The entire accident was likely his fault. It's unclear why he waved the pilot off. Hopefully, it wasn't for a better photo op. Lancaster, Pennsylvania is among the oldest inland cities in the United States. It's about 70 miles west of Philadelphia and has been around since 1729. During the American Revolution, Lancaster served as the U.S. capital for one day after the British took Philadelphia. It's a fun little city full of rich American history. On February 10th of 2016, two women wanted to soak in all that history from the comfort of a hot air balloon. Their pilot got them going as three men pushed from behind. Unfortunately, their trip got off to a bad start and only went downhill from there.
The other one, the woman?
The Danube River is the second longest waterway in Europe after the Volga River in Russia. It rises in Germany and flows over 1,700 miles through 9 other countries before emptying into the Black Sea. In the middle of its journey, the Danube winds through Budapest, the capital of Hungary. Every year, locals gather for the Budapest Air Show, where some of the best pilots test their skills over the Danube River. Two daredevils behind the controls of an Airbus A320 wanted to see how close they could fly to the bridges over the river. Captains David Morgan and Andras Arde are the two men behind this wild stunt. It was the first time anybody had flown so close to the Budapest bridges. From what we can gather, these bridges play a major role in the air show each year. Pilots in small planes usually fly under them or do laps around them. It's not every day that you see a commercial jet passing a few dozen feet above the road.
Fire! I'd have fired them both.
For as long as he can remember, professional skydiver Konstantin Petrichuk has always wanted to throw a car out of an airplane. In August of 2020, he and his buddies made that dream a reality. They drove out near Area 51 to try one of the craziest stunts ever attempted. First, the team spent several weeks in Texas modifying a Toyota Corolla FX. Some of these mods included draining its fluid, removing its engine, and adding a solid bottom. The only problem is they had no idea how the car would behave in the air. There, of course, was only one way to find out.
That looks so fun. Damn.
The car flipped over suddenly, forcefully ejecting all 5 passengers. They pulled their parachutes and watched their Trump 2020 car plummet toward the Arizona desert. Here's what all their hard work looked like in the end.
Never have I ever jumped a car out of an airplane. Lost that game.
All of our hard work.
Damn.
Smashed. Wow.
Well, look at the bright side.
I think we can patch it up and do it again.
A few team members suffered minor bruises during the ejection. When the car first leaves the plane, you can see one of them scrape the side as it flips end over end. Our friend in the passenger seat also hit his head on the windshield when the car flips. Thankfully, he was wearing a helmet, and the bar was covered in tape. You might want to start calling Konstantin and his buddies Fast and Furious. The RAF Cosford Air Show happens every year in Wolverhampton, England. Royal Air Force pilots will fly everything from modern jets to World War II planes. The 2017 show was humming along. About 50,000 people had come to watch fighter jets and bombers tear up the sky. That's when a Vampire WZ-507 taxied onto the runway. Instead of tearing up the sky, this pilot tore up the tarmac.
It didn't even fly.
This old-school jet still had some fight in it.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's time for me to put on some of the new Knuckles show and go to sleep. Make sure you subscribe to Underworld Twizzlers.